Okay, everyone, this is going to be my third Kerry Von Erich video, and it should finish out the trilogy. The first video I did on Kerry was his 10 Commandments, and this was from a 1985 article where Kerry gives basic fitness and workout tips. The second video I did was Kerry Von Erich's Secret Workout. This was from a 1983 workout, and you get a little bit more information here about his workout, but it's got a lot of gaps in it. And it looks like in 1983, judging by the pictures that were attached to the article, Kerry was working out in what looked like to be a home gym. And then this video, we're going to cover an article from Wrestling 85 magazine. And this was the summertime edition. If you're looking for your own copy, it's going to have Sergeant Slaughter on the cover. And the name of this article is How Kerry Von Erich Maintains Wrestling's Best Body. Now, in this article, it fills in a bit more of the gaps. It's 2 years later from the last article that I covered, which was from his Secret Workout. That was in 1983. This is in 1985. Some things have changed. For example, there are commonalities between all three articles, all three videos that I've done. So I've seen a common theme. That's why I have no reason to doubt that this is actually Kerry, contributing to these articles, because there are common themes that run through all three of them. And I think now that we have more information, we could do a much better job of piecing something together. Now, some of the differences in this article versus the 1983 Secret Workout. So in this article, we see that Kerry runs National Health Studio. It's called Kerry Von Erich's National Health Studio. It was in Louisville, Texas. And Kerry mentions this when he's asked about finding time to work out. He says, if it's important to you, you'll make it a priority. But he also mentions the fact that he ran this health studio. Now, if anybody lived in the area during this time and would like to share more information on that, please leave it in the comments. Kerry also says that he was in the protein and vitamin supplement business. I'm not sure about this either, so if you have information on that, I'd love to know, because back in the 80s, there just weren't that many supplement brands like there are now. You had Bob Hoffman and Joe Weider, two of the first really selling supplements, and a few other companies. But there was nowhere near the saturation of supplements on the market like there is today. Back in the 1980s, it was really prior to when they became a big deal. So I'm not sure if Kerry was just a pitch man or if he meant he just sold them at his gym. So now let's get into some of the workout specifics I did pick up from this. He says that he does a push-pull routine. It's meant to be 4 days, but he does 6 days a week and takes Sunday off. So on Mondays, he does chest, shoulders, and tries. Tuesday, he does back, thighs, and legs. And if you remember in the last article, legs was completely omitted. We didn't know where he trained them. But here in 1985, it looks like he trained them with back, thighs, and legs. But then again, the downside of this is Kerry in this article doesn't go into leg training specifics, which I will mention again later. Then on Wednesday, Kerry says he does core, cardio, and stretching. So it doesn't really look like there's much weightlifting taking place here. And then on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, he basically repeats the whole routine again, takes Sunday off. Kerry mentions that he likes using the Nautilus machines, which were really big in the 80s, and he also likes free weights, of course. The other specific we get is he does 15 sets per body part. Now the specifics on chest, he says he does 5 sets of bench, flat bench, 5 sets of incline bench, and then 5 sets of dumbbell. Kerry doesn't say whether this is flies or presses. Now, one thing that also stood out to me is he said that he trains chest in a very low rep range, 5 reps, which I would think there's probably some variation here, but if he's doing 5 reps per set, those are pretty heavy sets. The next thing Kerry mentions is shoulders. He says he trains those the same way. Doesn't really give exercise specifics, but by same way, I'm guessing he means, 15 sets per body part. So 15 sets, so probably 5 sets, 5 sets, 5 sets, 3 different exercises. The exercises for shoulders are not listed, but he says he trains shoulders in the 7 to 10 rep range. The next body part Kerry mentions is triceps, and then no exercise specifics here, but he says he trains triceps in the 8 to 12 rep range. Now we move on to day 2. This is Tuesday, the day Kerry trains buys, back, and legs. Kerry talks about using wide grip pull downs for back, and then he also likes what he calls in fronts, and these are really reverse narrow grip pull downs, where you use a reverse grip, narrow, and then pull the bar down to your chest. He says that he does 5 sets of these both ways, meaning 5 sets of wide grip pull downs and then 5 sets of the reverse grip. And then since Kerry trains 15 sets per body part, you would think there would be a third back exercise mentioned, but there's not one mentioned here. So if I had to guess, it would probably be some kind of rowing motion. The next thing Kerry talks about is the bicep curls. He does 15 sets of curls, different variations, and he mentions seated dumbbell curls or incline dumbbell curls, and then straight bar curls. And then he gives us a rep range here. He says he likes to train buys in the 8 to 10 rep range. As he mentioned in his 10 Commandments article, he says if he could get all 10 reps, that means he needs to increase the weight. So he does use progressive resistance. Again, from the 10 Commandments article, he reiterates to do what works for you, to use the, customize your workout to what your own goals are, what you respond best to. Again, from the 10 Commandments article, another commonality, he mentions preferring swimming over jogging because of jogging being hard on the knees. And then he talks about the importance of being fit for wrestling, which includes looking the part as a wrestler and being fit for the ring to have good matches. And he finishes the article by commenting on Ric Flair's fitness, which Ric Flair, he didn't look like it, but he was an incredibly fit wrestler. He really gained a lot of his fitness from rehabbing after his plane crash in the early 70s. He did a lot of Stepmaster. Flair was one of those wrestlers who could wrestle for an hour every night, no problem. And other wrestlers also have commented on how fit Flair was and how he could just keep going. And Kerry closes the article by saying that he looks forward to wrestling him again. Now, just some closing thoughts on the article. Again, you get some more information here. Disappointing that I still don't know what leg exercises Kerry liked, what he preferred. These articles are kind of spotty. You get, rep ranges on some things. You get, specific exercises on some things. And on other things, there's gaps. So you're kind of left to just, piecing things together. You can look at pictures of Kerry training. And I think from all 3 of these videos that I've done now, you could probably piece together a pretty good workout that would be fairly close to what he did. It wouldn't be 100% accurate. And then again, Kerry probably changed things up from time to time. You know, most people do through the years. They'll add this or that, even if they do stay on a similar routine and schedule. And the other thing that I will say about these articles, you know, they were written in wrestling magazines for wrestling fans. I'm sure if, you know, they had contacted Kerry for a article on a bodybuilding magazine, they would have pushed him to be more specific. You know, I'm not sure if the spottiness in these articles from the wrestling magazines, if you lay that at the foot of the ghostwriter, you know, the editor of the wrestling magazine, not pushing for more information, or if, you know, Kerry probably, you know, just might have been careless in conveying the info. You know, even when I'm telling people about my routine, just stuff I already know and take for granted, I'm going to leave stuff out that the person who isn't in the know probably should need to know. And I might think of it later and like, well, maybe I should have told him about that. So there's that element too. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, I tried to do my best with all of these to put together something that would give a more accurate picture of how Kerry would have trained. And I think from these 3 videos now, even though, you know, the articles are spotty, you could probably come pretty close to putting something together that Kerry Von Erich would have done.